new report from the Texas Tribune details the dire situation happening inside the Texas juvenile prison system. Teenagers reportedly spending up to 23 hours a day locked in their cells. Jolie McCullough, criminal justice reporter for the Texas Tribune, is joining us to share what she's learned. Jolie, thank you for taking time to talk with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You described the juvenile prison system as being on the brink of collapse. Big picture, tell us what is happening.
Yeah, so the Texas Juvenile Justice Department has 5 state-run prisons for teenagers, essentially, who, and they have long been in crisis. Generally speaking, it's hard for them to keep people employed working in these prisons. Following the pandemic and this, quote, great resignation, where people have been leaving their jobs, they're left with a startlingly low number of officers who are able to supervise these children. And as a result, as what you said, you're seeing kids who are locked in their cells for up to 23 hours a day. These are cells that don't have bathrooms, so kids have reported having to use water bottles as toilets. Suicidal behavior has skyrocketed, which is obviously very concerning for any young people who are in the state's care.
Yeah. You talked a little bit about it, but I want you to describe for us the living conditions that some of these teenagers are reporting, particularly what it's like for them being in these cells. These are not, nice cells, frankly.
Yeah, so these are really big campuses. There's 5 campuses, and they're mostly in rural places around the state. So generally speaking, there's dorms and cells, and so each child has their own cell, which is really just, maybe a bookshelf that's mounted to the wall and a concrete block with a very thin mattress on it. Not all of them have windows to the outside. And so that's really all it is this very cramped space. And they are in there for a lot of the time, especially on the weekends, because what is happening is they're using teachers and caseworkers to fill in for officer positions. But since those roles they're not there on the weekends. On weekends, a lot of the time you're seeing these teens left in their cells.
When I think folks hear this, teens spending 23 hours a day having to use water bottles as restrooms, that's just completely unacceptable. What is the plan? What are you hearing?
Yeah, so the agency was able to, because they have so many unfilled positions, they were able to implement a 15% raise for all the security staff that is currently working there. And they're hoping that can kind of keep people there a little bit longer, can maybe bring a few more people in. Of course, that goes from a starting salary from about $36,000 to about a little less than $42,000. And, other than that, there hasn't been that much talk. I reached out to the governor's office. I asked if this was something worth consideration of a special session. They did not respond to that question. Simply saying that, the governor supports the agency and it continues to be a priority for him. But it's unclear in terms of what we do now. It seems like it's still up to the agency at this point.
Wow. Jolie, we know you will continue to follow this story. We thank you for taking time to talk with us today.
Thank you.